What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new FC25 formation and tactic video. Today we're going to be going in depth on the 4-2-4 tactics. We're going to be going through what I'm using currently in Rivals, what I'm using in Champs, sort of for like a over average sort of FIFA player. I wouldn't call myself an unreal player. I'm not here getting 15 wins, but I'm definitely not at the bottom of the barrel. So let's get straight into it. We're going to be looking first at sort of like the basic tactics that you're going to want to roll into the game with. So we are going to be using balanced for the build-up style, with a defensive approach with high and 75 line height. At the top left, just under main tactics, you'll see the code now if you want to copy these roles and tactics. Jumping into the roles, we've got on the goalkeeper, we have defend. I personally prefer this the most. If I'm going to push my goalkeeper out of goal, or if I'm going to pull him further back, then I want to be the one to do it. I don't want to put him on sort of sweeper and him just start rushing out, and randomly I'm just starting to concede loads of chip goals. So definitely I would say keep it on goalkeeper defend so you can make the decisions, not the game for you. Into the centre backs, we are using in this defender defend on both the left and right centre back. Personally, if you can, try and get a player with defender plus at least. I think it will just help give you a little bit of a hand with the roles. Sometimes I noticed if you don't have a player with defend, they may drop a little bit too far back. That way you're open to a counter attack, so you want to sort of keep them all together, keep them well worked. That way nobody's going to sort of drop back and you're not going to have sort of issues in the defence. The left back and right back, we've gone for wing back support. Again, if you can, try and get a player with a plus. I've got wing back plus plus on my Julia Gwyn, and I have wing back just standard on Hernandez, and sometimes he does get caught lacking a little bit back, sometimes he gets a bit too far forward and gets caught, but to be honest, I'd say any other player, definitely try and get somebody with wingback plus. But if you've got Theo Hernandez, I wouldn't worry too much because he's strong enough, he's quick enough, he's going to get back quicker than most attackers can even get in behind. So I wouldn't worry too much if you have him, but anyone else, maybe just try and watch out and try and get someone. I think Ferland Mendy has wingback, so anybody like him is going to be absolutely perfect for this. Jumping into the centre mids, we're using on the left centre mid, box to box. Again, somebody with the plus is always good. We're using the free Jude Bellingham just before the incisive, which is an absolute game changer. He's so good in the midfield. He can defend, he can attack. You want a really well balanced player here. Maybe if you've got a Premier League team, you could have the new Kobe Mainu card. Maybe I think Conor Gallagher's got an alright one if you're playing La Liga and don't want to use Jude, or I think even Marcus Thuram would probably do a good job here if you've got a Serie A team. So just a few sort of examples there of players you can use to fit into your teams. With the right centre mid, we're using Playmaker and Roaming. We're using this on David Beckham. I would prefer if he had Playmaker Plus. He doesn't, unfortunately. I am trying to save up for his next card. I think it's a Thunderstruck icon, which does have Playmaker Plus, which will be such a massive improvement. But I don't think it's too crucial on him. I'm using that with Roaming. If you can see now, sort of the style, it'll keep him in the midfield, but he can drift to the left, drift to the right. Just means he can make some really good runs, get into nice positions, and make good through passes into your wingers and into your strikers. And it works really nicely if you're playing a ball from the right hand side into the left wing, where Neymar will be, as it creates loads of space with what we're using on him, which is what we're going to get into next. So we are using wide Playmaker build up on Neymar, and this is because I wanted to use a formation where I could have loads in attack, but I also had quite a lot of help in midfield, and using Neymar with wide Playmaker and build up means that he's going to come back and come short as a passing option when you've got the ball in the midfield, and then when you're in attack he will also push up and look for an option. Sometimes he'll drift inside, sometimes he'll sit back a little bit. Just gives him a really nice sort of profile to move around the pitch freely. As you can see now, as I switch the view, he sort of drifts from the left hand side when you're without the ball, and then sort of like just moves in a little bit, which is really, really nice when you've got the ball. Moving into the strikers now. On the left striker, we're using advanced forward complete, just so when Neymar does drop deep, you can have a really, really fast player. I use Vinny here, so he can move along the line quite nicely, gives him a lot more freedom. So I definitely recommend a Vinny, or probably an Mbappe would do a good job here. I think some people have Nico Williams. If you've got him as a striker, definitely use him there if you've done a couple of his evolutions. Anybody like that, 90 plus pace, I think is going to be brilliant. Or anybody with finesse, because you're going to be cutting in on that sort of left hand side. You can cut in really easily and finesse so nicely. Even Vinny with standard finesse is brilliant for me. The right striker, sorry, we're using on advanced forward attack, which will keep him a bit more central, just because we've got the right winger who is also on inside forward attack, who will be pushing up a bit more, but that'll keep your sort of main striker, which is, to me, I've used Endrick because he's a little bit slower, but I'd probably use like a Cristiano Ronaldo. If you've got somebody slower, maybe a Van Persie, Van Nistelrooy, any slower attackers like a Harry Kane, you could definitely use them here and they'll still do a good job going forward. And then if you want to, you can also maybe play false 9 if you do want to drop them deep. Into the right wing now, we've got inside forward attack on the right wing with Shevchenko. As you can see here, when we have the ball, he is going to sort of drift inside a little bit, so you get a lot of options when you just win the ball back. You can ping a ball out to him on the wing, and then he will drift inside and sort of act as a third striker, which is really, really nice. So if you've got anybody like Bale or maybe Rafinha, they would also be really, really good. So that is what we have been using, sort of going into the game. If you're 1-0 up, 2-0 up, stick to this. Maybe drop it defensive, which I'll show you next, towards the end of the game. But if you're a goal down, you'll be able to use this and definitely get back into the game. And if you're a goal up, you can probably use it to get forward and attack and get another goal. If not, it's still really, really good in defence. As soon as you lose that ball, your wing backs just drop straight back and you're back to a back four. Bellingham will drop because he's a box-to-box player, so he'll be straight back into defence as well. And then you've got Beckham sort of waiting just on the edge for the outside pass, so as soon as you do win the ball back, he's there ready, open feet, he can get the ball straight into Shevchenko, straight into Endrick, and you're away on a lovely easy counter attack. So that is what we're going to be using just for the main tactics today. Now running into defensive, as you can see here, you've got the code just underneath where it says defensive, and getting into it, you're going to be swapping into a 4-4-2 flat with short passing build-up style and a deep offensive approach of 30. This is very defensive. I use this if I'm 2-0 up and the guy I know is better than me, but I need to hold out for a win, so I will drop it into this and they will just defend, and I very, very, very rarely concede when I'm doing this. In goal, again, goalkeeper defend, same thing again. If I'm going to push him, I'm going to push him, but to be honest, leave him when you're in this sort of style. Both the centre-backs, again, on defender defend, just to keep it nice and solid. The left back and right back on full back defend, just to keep them nice and central. As you can see here, they sort of drift out wide when you are without the ball, and then when you're with the ball they tuck in quite nicely. The left mid and right mid on wide midfielder defend, again, just drops them a little bit deeper, keeps them wide, so you do have an out pass. So if you do lose the ball, or if you do win the ball back, sorry, and you do want to get out onto an attack, you're not completely sat back. If you're using, say, a 5 back, you still do have an attack. So Neymar and Vinny, currently in the right mid, left mid, do a really, really good job of still pressing there. The two centre mids on holding defend, they're just solid. They just push back, they go very narrow. It's quite a narrow sort of formation when you change to this, but you do have the wide boys who do a good job. But overall, just holding defend, they will drop further back. You'll just be able to get a nice sort of solid line in front of your back four, and hopefully you can win a few interceptions. Maybe if you've got a player with intercept plus might be good. I think the new Gavi card is quite good with anticipate plus, so if you want to use him, really, really good. He'd be a brilliant player when you do switch to this. And the two strikers are both on advanced forward support, just so that they come back a little bit. As you can see, they sort of drop down into sort of like the final sort of mid of the pitch, so then they've just got an easier pass out, and then using them both on the same, they can sort of play a little pass into each other, and you could get away with a 2-on-1 if somebody's pressing you really well and you're sort of getting out and attacking again. You will sort of come away with a few chances, and I have scored a couple of times doing this, so definitely keep them on advance forward and support. And that is the defensive tactics. Not really too much more to say about it. Then we have the attacking tactics. Again, the code is just under where it says attacking there, and you're back into a 4-2-4. You're going to be using the build-up style of counter and a defensive approach of 91 as aggressive. Into the player roles, goalkeeper, absolutely same thing again. The two centre-backs, the exact same. I don't know why Delict and Yoro have swapped around here, but they have, that's up to them. The left-back and right-back on attacking, wing-back on balanced. This is just so, as you can see here, they will just set up the pitch. As you're on the attack, you're just going to want to keep defending. This is really nice, so if you do lose the ball, they're really high and they are going to win the ball back quite nicely, and then you can get straight back on an attack, play it around the midfield, play it into your centre mids, and it does just form such a solid line that as you're going super aggressive, you'll just smash anybody really. As soon as they try and play a ball out, you're just going to be there in their face and they're not going to have anywhere to move. Both the centre mids are on playmaker attack. This is again just to keep them nice and high, gives them options, means that they're going to move around your midfield quite nicely. As you can see here, they stay quite central as you've got the players out wide, so you don't really need them anywhere else. But yeah, that just keeps them really high up the pitch, keeps them nice, so you've got a great defence. The left wing and right wing are both on inside forward attack. Again, it forms a front line. They're not going to be able to play out to their left back and right backs because you're going to have 2 or 3 players sort of closing down that area really easily. And then into the strikers on advanced forward attack, just to keep them super central because everybody else is sort of busying around them. You're going to want them really all the way at the front, in the face of the 2 centre backs, in the face of the goalkeeper. And doing this, if somebody's trying to defend, you will win the ball back, and you'll have so many options. You can just overload somebody's box and you will score a few goals. So that is that for the tactics. If you want to see the team again that I was using, this is it. Really great team. Vinicius Jr. is brilliant. Bellingham is absolutely unreal. This Julia Gwyn card is great for her evolution, such a solid card. Shevchenko, definitely do the SBC, he's so good. Endrick, he's just baby R9 essentially, until you get the 90 R9, which is what I'm aiming for. De Gea in goal, the Manchester United GOAT, wish he was back, but here we are. Theo Hernandez, best left back in the game. And then on the bench, I sort of keep a few players. Solid striker with Ronaldo, a great winger with Hazard, great right winger with Wilson. Again, same with Lamine Yamal, solid centre mid with Mateas, a centre back, a right back, and then a few extra players on the reserves just in case we get cards or need to change it up. And that is that. That is that for the tactics. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you use these tactics, let me know how you got on. If you want me to make any other videos of any other tactics, give me a shout, let me know. Pop it down in the comments, leave a like, do all the sort of good stuff, ratings, head over to my Twitch, head over to my TikTok, you know, drop a follow if you enjoyed it. And hopefully I will see you boys in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye bye.